All right, we are situated. We are ready to talk my weekly, monthly talk talky video. Who really knows? Who decides? Who decides? Who decides? Who decides? Who decides? Just like when Bitcoin goes down, who decides when this sort of thing happens? Who really orchestrates this behavior, this dumpage? Who does it? Who? You know what? We've had all I hear lately is why everyone's covering the same thing, right? And I'm going to touch on it as well. Not much, but it's one of those things where everyone expects either there to be a huge dump or huge pump when some big news event happens, like the halving, for example. So we had the halving on the weekend, last weekend, Friday night, Saturday morning time-ish, for my time in Britain. And it was either three options. A, it was going to go up. B, it was going to stay the same. Or C, it's going to go down. It pretty much went sideways. So the middle, right? Did nothing for about, I don't know, half a day, and then it started to pump because I don't know why reason. The weekend as well. We've seen that the weekend tends to pump. I think primarily the reason for that is there's no ETF dumpage. You know, before the ETFs, the weekends used to be the worst for dumps. There used to just be dumps upon dumps every single weekend. You could almost time it. It was usually Sunday afternoon / Sunday evening. I don't know if it has anything. I don't know if that had to do with like Asia waking up or the Asian market starting, possibly. But it always used to be before those markets even opened. But now, what we're seeing is when the weekends, start, you're more or less guaranteed to, or not specifically, but it's more likely that if you buy on Friday and sell on Sunday, you'll be in profit by probably about 5%, maybe 10, because that's just how it's just been working for the last few months since the ETFs have come in. Anyway, I do think it's because there's no selling from Grayscale. There's nothing of that. No real market manipulation on the weekends as much as the weekdays. But today we've seen a bit of a dump, or you could call it a dip. This is barely a dump, right? Because if we go to, let's just go on a 4 hour. 4 hours probably my favorite. We were at this price level 2 days ago. So Monday we were at this price, and because you see this girthy, gargantuan red candle, you think to yourself, oh, it's a big dump, when in fact it's probably Grayscale dumping. We're probably going to see from Hodl, what's his name? Hodl 18? Yeah, Hodl 15 Capital. They're the ones who show all the juicy ETF numbers for us. So it's probably going to be Grayscale again, undoubtedly. Grayscale Bitcoin. I mean, look, was it yesterday? What's today's date? 24th, so 23rd. Yeah. This 4th April. American dates always throw me off. Yeah, so they sold quite a lot yesterday as well. Yeah, quite a lot compared to the prior 2 days. Anyway, so, but their supply is diminishing, and sooner or later they're not going to be able to sell at all because they'll be out of Bitcoin completely. Well, from the way things are going, unless they change their fees drastically. But they said they were going to do it, but I don't think we've had any news of it yet, other than the fact that they're releasing a new Bitcoin ETF entirely separate from this one. That's to counteract all this selling, I guess, and people to jump into that instead. That's probably their plan, but I don't know why they can't just immediately change it. Maybe there's something in the rules of when the SEC approved it, all the applications, that was part of the process. once it's done sort of thing. Who knows? I don't know that. Maybe someone can tell me about that. I don't know if they can change the fees or not. But surely you should be able to. I mean, it's just, you don't have to suck the SEC's dick all the time, do you? Anyway, yeah, because of this dump, of course, alts are bleeding off, and this is why it's good as well. This is what I wanted to talk about as well. If you have, I know it's very difficult right now because probably a lot of people don't have this, which is money on the side, like USDT in your wallets to just put into projects that you are bullish on or expect them to pump during the bull run. 4 days like this, I mean, you don't have to put all of it into, all your USDT into days like this. You can put a portion into it, and then possibly there'll be a dump again tomorrow after it pumps. I mean, I think they're coming after the liquidations as well, because you can see here that this liquidation here was swept today, and you know, people are still going into it, and people are still shorting this right now. But what you can see up here, there's a big level of liquidation here, all this whole area here, and this is why I'm stopping, well, temporarily stopped doing leverage trading, and instead I'm just doing spot trading, because it's just, you're not constantly thinking about whether or not it's going to dump or pump. You buy the asset, you then wait, you then hold it, and you don't have to bloody worry about it. You don't have to put your eyes on it. You can go away, you can play a game, you can do your work, you can do anything you want, shag the missus, whatever, and you don't have to worry whilst you're pounding away and you've got your phone, which is distracting you then doing the deed, and you don't have to worry. You just hold, and then when the price rises you sell, and then, well, you can just hold on to it. Depends on what you want to do, what your strategy is. I'm doing a strategy. My strategy again is just spot trading at the moment, just holding. But to generate more sort of USDT to buy more, what I'm doing is I've got a bag of WIF that I'm holding, but I've also got a separate WIF bag where I'm trading it. So I'm buying at a lower price and then selling it at a price when it goes up, say 15 cents or something. I would then sell and then repeat it, like I used to do on my other videos with Solana, if you remember that. So that's what I'm doing there. And the idea with that is to just, yeah, you could argue, why don't you just hold it? You're just having the same result. Sort of, yes, but with the markets going up and down all the time, why not just use that to your advantage? Well, I am anyway. And trading with, you can do it with anything, Bonk, Pepe, or just Solana itself, Bitcoin, whatever. But the more volatile the asset is, and the more bang for your buck you're going to get in a faster time frame. So that's what I'm doing there. And the idea is to pretty much, if I was to do WIF, I would buy. So right now, I've done a few trades the last week or so. If I was to buy now, I would buy here, right? It's a good time to buy because it's dumped a bit because of this Bitcoin dump. I would then sell. So I bought it, say 324. I would then sell at 340. So that's roughly 15 cents. And then I would take that profit. I would then, all right, so I've taken that profit out. I would then go back in with the same capital I did before. Say, for example, $1,000. It actually is $1,000. I would then buy, then repeat the process. Wait till it gets to 40, or if it's risen in price, just buy up here. If you can see the patterns going upwards. If a trend is going upwards, then you just buy, because it is going up in price again. It's gained that momentum again, and it's up for the day. It was up about 15% earlier before this dip happened, and then essentially you just repeat the process, and then you're gathering more USDT. To then, what I plan to do is to buy and hold more assets that I have. So at the moment, I'm buying more Nasana because it's cheap again. There was an airdrop on that, I think. Some other project did an airdrop, I think, on Nasana, and people were just dumping it. That's why it had a pretty horrific morning. But also Soul Chat as well, quite bullish on that. ATL, which is art trade. I'm not shilling these, I'm just telling you what I'm buying because it's these prices right now. are a gold mine for when it pumps, and especially during the bull run. This is going to be insane. These are really low sort of market caps, but they are projects in different categories that I've gone over before. The gains are going to be fantastic. I mean, people say, leverage trading. I'm still a huge fan of leverage trading, but the risk right now, it's not really worth it. So spot trading it instead is just, it's just such a more reliable and safer way of doing it in terms of trading it. Because, and one thing I will say, if you're going to do any of that strategy of spot trading or even leverage trading or any type of trading where you're trying to gain more USDT to then put into other projects, right? Do it on assets that have that sort of public status already. So with Bonk, Pepe, those sorts of coins, those cryptos, even Solana as well. Solana's pretty good as well for getting a good earner. So yeah, that's my sort of strategy going forward for the immediate future. That will of course change. My strategy keeps changing all the time because the market keeps changing and circumstances change and plans change because of what is going on. With all the Iran stuff that happened last week, that is a massive example of you don't know what's going to happen in the world for Bitcoin to dump. So you're better off in these sorts of situations and circumstances until the bull run comes to just, if you're going to spot trade, that is just probably the best thing you can do just to acquire more USDT to DCA into projects. I'm not sure if that's what you're doing already, but if it's not, then I hope that sort of advice has sort of helped, because sometimes you do need to have that reminder, and I had to remind myself that's probably what strategy I need to do instead of I was going to say liquidation trading, leverage trading, because the chances of being liquidated or stopped out is just it's high at the moment. It's very, very high. Bitcoin is so volatile still, despite having a glorious week so far of just coming up from the dumps that we've had. We went as low as 59, the high 59.6, so coming up all the way to 67.2, I think it was. Yep, 67.2. It's in that range where it's just still volatile, but so yeah, it's just not worth the risk of leverage trading right now. I mentioned before, I probably will start that again, probably in July, maybe, until we get a bit more of stability or we don't get these wicks down, because that is just so brutal. And we're always going to get this. We're going to get this in the bull run, in the peak of the bull run, when it's just, flying to over 100k. We're still going to get this. This is not going to change. But until we can get that sort of bullish pattern like we had, like these sorts of times down here, back here, this is what I'm sort of looking for. That, not this, of course, but this sort of movement. That was wonderful. And now, and since that stopped from mid-March, we've just been going sideways and down and sideways and down. Not really pushing too high, apart from, testing the all-time high again. But we've had the halving. That has now been done. We are halved again. So the supply and demand is really high, meaning the demand heavily outweighs the supply, as we know. And now we're going into that stage again where, are we going to see more bullish momentum because of the halving? Because Hong Kong ETFs start at the end of this month? Because of other factors that come in? We get breaking news every day of something happening in crypto or something going on in the world. But if we don't get war-related bloody news events, then we're pretty much fine. So as long as that stuff doesn't happen, we should be good to go, but I am waiting on that just to reflect a bit more on the charts, just to see where we go. I think once we hit above 80,000, I think then is when we'll see the green light to really be bullish on things. But until then, it's just spot trading for me. And spot trading with like this up and down over the last couple of days has been pretty good. Like this one here in particular, this range, I mean, this has been glorious just to trade, because you're going from say 269 to 320. That's a massive like sort of range you can trade in, and I've been doing that. And the same can be said for any crypto, but it's just about choosing the ones that are solid, the ones that have that sort of, you're not going to get dumped on or rugged completely. I mean, like if it's not going to go to zero, like with WIF, we're not going to see the prices of 196 again until there's another attack on Israel or something. You know, that sort of stuff. You're not going to see it again unless that happens and the market completely tanks. But yeah, that's just my way of thinking. That's my approach on things, and what I'm doing. It's working fine. It's working well, and it's working like it did before, because I know how to do it. I know how to apply it, and if you're consistent with it, and if you just realize that you're taking profits on spot trading whilst holding at the same time on another bag, then you'll be absolutely fine. Because if, for example, I buy at, say I buy now and it dumps down to 150, I'm not going to be bothered that much, because I know that it will come back up. Because WIF, like I've mentioned in my last video, WIF and Pepe, I believe, are the two meme coins that are going to explode in the bull run. I really do think that. Bonk will be there as well. It will definitely be there, but it won't be as strong. Bonk's had a great few days over the weekend because it got listed on Kraken. That's why it was bullish for Bonk, and it's held there quite well actually. But WIF has come up quite a lot the last few days, so that's why I'm trading that. I could trade Solana as well, but I'm just doing it on WIF because it's just so much more volatile, but at the same time you're getting a bang for your buck, and it's the hottest meme coin at the moment, so it's always going to be up and down. But it won't rug, right? It won't go to zero. It's not that sort of meme coin anymore. It's got such a big status on it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. If you feel that that's something you want to do, then go ahead. Not financial advice, but it's working fine for me. And if, like I said, if it does go down, then you're just holding the asset. That's going to eventually go back up. So it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're getting liquidated. You're still holding the asset. And that's where patience comes into it again, like I've mentioned on other videos. Patience does apply even on spot trading, but there's no pressure. There is no real pressure. There's no sweating. There's no checking the charts as much. Unless you're doing it for the whole day, you spend some time doing it, and that you want to do it for the day, then you'll be checking the charts. But it's not necessary all the time to always check the chart. It's not necessary all the time, so there's that bonus to it. You will never get liquidated. The price will just go down in value, and that's it. Then you just wait. That's it. Just wait. But with the price range of WIF, you won't be waiting long. I'm just giving that sort of scenario that could possibly happen, because it's likely that it could. But for now, the trend is going upwards. So with some volatility, which is nice, because that's what you want. When you're trading, you want volatility. That's what you need. You want to get those profits and then snap those profits up and then get back in. So that's what I'm doing. I've got 1,000 that I'm putting in every single trade, gain about $30 on each trade every 6 hours or so. Dump that into another asset, let that hold as well in my bull run bag, and then continue, and then repeat the process. That's it. That's what I'm doing for now. So yeah, let me know if you're doing anything similar, or if you think that's a good strategy, or let me know if you think there's another asset that you think is better to trade on. Do let me know. I'm all ears. So yeah. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching / listening, and I'll see you on the next one.